Have you ever reached for a handful of nuts thinking you're making a smart, healthy choice, only to later feel bloated, tired, or maybe just off? It's something many of us have done, especially after reading all those articles about how nuts are the ultimate superfood. And while it's true that many nuts can be a nutritional goldmine, not all of them deserve that health halo, especially as we get older. In fact, there are certain nuts that may be silently working against your health goals, especially if you're over 60. Whether it's hidden calories, allergens, or even toxins that creep in during storage, some nuts just aren't as innocent as they look. And if you're someone who's trying to manage weight, heart health, blood sugar, or even your energy levels, what you're eating matters more than ever. That's why in this video, we're diving into 4 nuts that might not belong in your snack drawer. These aren't just random picks. There are real concerns backed by science and experience. Some of these might surprise you. But stick with me, because knowing what not to eat can be just as important as knowing what to eat. Let's begin with one that's often seen as a luxury indulgence, but might be secretly sabotaging your efforts: macadamia nuts. Now I get it. Macadamias are delicious. That soft, buttery bite, the kind that almost melts in your mouth, it's tempting. And for many, it feels like a treat that's just a little bit more fancy than your average snack. But here's the thing most people don't realize. Macadamia nuts are calorie bombs in disguise. Just a small handful, about 10 to 12 nuts, can pack over 200 calories and 21 grams of fat. That's more than many chocolate bars. And while some of that fat is the healthy kind, it's still a lot for such a small serving. It's especially tricky for older adults who might not be burning calories as quickly as they used to. Even worse, their soft texture makes it really easy to eat too many without even noticing. Unlike almonds or pistachios, which take some time and effort to chew or shell, macadamias go down fast. That means you can scarf down hundreds of calories in just a few minutes and still feel like you barely ate anything. And then there's the flavoring problem. Many of the macadamias on store shelves aren't just raw. They're roasted in oils, coated with honey, chocolate dipped, or even salted beyond recognition. These add-ons can spike your sodium intake, sneak in added sugars, and completely undo the tiny benefits the nut might offer on its own. For someone keeping an eye on blood pressure, cholesterol, or blood sugar, those extras are anything but helpful. Now, I'm not saying you have to cut macadamia nuts out of your life forever, but they're best treated as an occasional treat, not a daily go-to. If you love their taste, enjoy a few now and then as part of a meal, sprinkled on a salad or added to a dish you're already making. That way you can control the portion and avoid mindless munching, and definitely skip the chocolate-covered versions. That's dessert, not a healthy snack. All right, let's move on to a nut that's even more common and possibly more dangerous for some: peanuts. Now here's the kicker. Peanuts aren't even technically nuts. They're legumes, like beans and lentils. But for simplicity's sake, we call them nuts anyway. They're everywhere: peanut butter sandwiches, snack bars, roasted and salted snack mixes. And for many of us, they're tied to nostalgia: childhood lunches, ball games, even late-night snacks. But here's where things get complicated. Peanuts carry one of the most severe allergy risks in the entire food world. Even a trace amount can cause dangerous reactions in sensitive individuals, sometimes even life-threatening. For families where peanut allergies are a concern, total avoidance becomes the only safe option. And yes, I know many people don't have a peanut allergy, but cross-contamination is real, especially in homes or kitchens shared with grandkids, caregivers, or visitors. And that's not all. Peanuts are also at risk for something most people have never even heard of: aflatoxins. These are toxic compounds produced by certain molds that can grow on peanuts during harvest or storage, especially in warm, humid environments. Over time, even tiny amounts of aflatoxins can cause damage to the liver and have been linked to an increased risk of cancer. Now, most peanuts sold in the US go through safety checks, but that doesn't mean the risk is completely gone, especially if you're buying from bulk bins or less regulated sources. Even if aflatoxins and allergies don't apply to you, there's another sneaky issue with peanuts: the additives. Think about your favorite peanut butter. How often is it just peanuts and salt? More likely, it's loaded with hydrogenated oils, sugar, and preservatives, all of which add up to inflammation, weight gain, and even higher cholesterol. And those roasted peanuts with a salty or sweet coating, they're usually packed with sodium, flavor enhancers, or caramelized sugars that push your snack straight into junk food territory. That doesn't mean peanuts are evil, but if you want to enjoy them safely, you have to be really intentional. Go for organic, unsalted, and 100% natural peanut butter. Or better yet, make your own at home with just one ingredient: peanuts. And always keep portions in check. A little can go a long way. Coming up, we'll talk about a few more nuts that might look harmless, but could be throwing your diet and your health off track in sneaky ways. Some are shockingly expensive, others just don't give you the nutrition they promise. All right, we've already talked about macadamias and peanuts, two nuts that can look healthy on the outside but have some serious downsides if you're not paying attention. Now let's keep going because the next nut on our list might shock you. Let's talk about cashews. Now I know what you might be thinking. Wait, aren't cashews supposed to be good for my heart? Yes, they're creamy, versatile, and often praised for their magnesium and healthy fats. But here's what most people don't know. Cashews also come with a few red flags, especially for older adults who are trying to manage inflammation, joint health, or blood sugar. First, cashews are naturally high in oxalates, a compound that can contribute to kidney stones. If you or someone you know has ever suffered from a kidney stone, you know it's not something you want to go through again. For seniors, especially those who are already watching their hydration or have any kidney concerns, cashews might be doing more harm than good. But that's not all. Cashews also have a sneaky way of creeping into our diets in massive quantities. Why? Because they're so easy to eat. They're soft, a little sweet, and they don't leave you feeling full right away. That's a dangerous combination. Many people can easily eat 2, 3, or even 4 handfuls without realizing it. And at around 160 calories per ounce, that adds up fast. Worse still, most cashews sold in stores are roasted and salted, which means you're not just getting the nut, you're getting the added sodium and possibly oxidized oils that come from high heat processing. These oils, especially if they're reused during roasting or stored improperly, can turn rancid and promote inflammation, the root cause of so many chronic diseases, from arthritis to heart problems. And here's a fun fact you may not have heard before. Raw cashews aren't actually raw. Truly raw cashews contain a substance called urushiol, the same chemical found in poison ivy. That's why all cashews sold to the public are steamed to remove the toxins. So if you see raw cashews at the store, just know they've already been cooked to make them safe. So should you never eat cashews again? Not necessarily, but treat them with caution. Keep your portions small, avoid heavily salted or flavored varieties, and definitely skip them if you've ever had kidney issues. If you love that creamy texture, consider blending a few into a homemade sauce or dip rather than snacking on them by the handful. All right, now let's move to our final nut to avoid. And this one might surprise a lot of people who shop organic or follow trendy diets. We're talking about Brazil nuts. Yes, Brazil nuts. These giant crescent-shaped nuts are known for being one of the richest food sources of selenium, an essential mineral that supports thyroid health, the immune system, and even cognitive function. But here's the problem. When it comes to selenium, too much is just as bad as too little, maybe even worse. Just 1 or 2 Brazil nuts can give you your entire daily recommended amount of selenium. Sounds efficient, right? But many people eat 5, 6, even 10 at a time, especially when they're part of a mixed nut blend. And that's where the trouble starts. Excess selenium can lead to a condition called selenosis, with symptoms that range from nausea, fatigue, and brittle hair to far more serious issues like nervous system problems and even toxicity. And here's something especially important for older adults. As we age, our body's ability to process excess nutrients changes. What might have been harmless in our 30s can become problematic in our 60s, 70s, or beyond. On top of that, Brazil nuts are also very high in saturated fat, more than many other nuts. Now, a small amount of saturated fat is okay, especially from whole food sources. But if you're already dealing with cholesterol issues, every gram matters. And let's not forget, Brazil nuts go rancid faster than most. Their high fat content makes them vulnerable to oxidation, especially if they're stored in warm or humid environments. Once rancid, those fats can become harmful to your cells and trigger, you guessed it, inflammation. So what should you do? If you like Brazil nuts, go ahead and have one. Maybe two. That's it. Treat them like a supplement, not a snack. Store them in the fridge or freezer to keep them fresh. And if you're already taking a multivitamin that contains selenium, you might not need Brazil nuts at all. It's amazing, isn't it? How these foods that seem so small, so simple, can have such a big impact, especially as we get older. The truth is, our bodies change, and the way we process food changes too. Something that once felt harmless might now be triggering inflammation, digestive upset, or silent imbalances we don't even feel until it's too late. But here's the good news. Small changes can make a big difference. By being more intentional, by really knowing what's in your snacks, you can take back control of your health. You can feel lighter, clearer, and more energetic. And most importantly, you can avoid the silent traps that so many well-meaning people fall into, just by thinking they're making a healthy choice. In the final part of this video, I'll share how to choose better nuts, ones that support your heart, your brain, your bones, and even your mood. Plus, I'll give you simple tips to make snacking safer, smarter, and a lot more satisfying. So don't go anywhere, because this next part might just change the way you eat forever. Now that we've cleared the air about the 4 nuts you might want to limit or avoid, let's flip the script. Because not all nuts are bad, and some are truly golden when it comes to supporting your health, especially as you age. So here they are, the 4 nuts you should be eating. The ones that can actually nourish your heart, boost your brain, and keep your energy steady without hidden dangers. 1. Almonds, the all-around heart helper. Let's start with almonds. These crunchy little powerhouses are rich in vitamin E, which is excellent for your skin, eyes, and immune system. But their real magic? They help lower LDL cholesterol, that's the bad kind, while supporting healthy blood pressure and blood sugar levels. Almonds are also one of the few nuts that are high in fiber. Just a small handful, about 23 almonds, gives you around 3 to 4 grams, which can help with digestion and keep you feeling fuller longer. Perfect if you're trying to manage your weight. Just be careful to choose unsalted, dry roasted, or raw almonds. Skip the ones coated in honey or chocolate, and don't forget to chew them slowly. They're a little tough, but that's a good thing. It means you'll be more mindful with each bite. 2. Walnuts, the brain's best friend. If there's one nut that's earned its title as brain food, it's walnuts. And here's the fun part, they even look like little brains. That's your first clue. Walnuts are incredibly rich in omega-3 fatty acids, specifically ALA, alpha-linolenic acid, which is plant-based and supports cognitive function, memory, and even mood. For seniors, that's a game changer. They're also anti-inflammatory, which helps ease joint pain and protect the heart. A serving is about 7 halves, just enough to sprinkle over oatmeal, a salad, or blend into a smoothie. You don't need many to get the benefit, and because they spoil quickly, store them in the fridge or freezer to keep their oils fresh. 3. Pistachios. The weight-friendly snack, pistachios might just be the most fun nut to eat. Why? Because you have to work a little to crack them open, and that's actually a good thing. That little bit of effort slows you down, helping you avoid mindless overeating. They're one of the lowest calorie nuts, with about 160 calories per ounce, but they still pack protein, fiber, and antioxidants. They're great for your eye health, thanks to lutein and zeaxanthin, and they've even been shown to help improve cholesterol levels and blood sugar control. Go for in-shell, unsalted pistachios when you can. Portion out a small bowl, about 49 nuts per serving, and savor them slowly. They make for a wonderful evening snack while watching your favorite show or sitting on the porch with a cup of tea. 4. Hazelnuts, the unsung hero of healthy aging. Hazelnuts don't get nearly enough attention, but they should. These little round gems are rich in magnesium, which supports muscle function and bone health, both critical as we age. They're also high in monounsaturated fats, which are great for your heart. What's special about hazelnuts is how they support the nervous system. They contain vitamin B6, folate, and other nutrients that help keep your brain and nerves functioning smoothly. If you struggle with fatigue, tingling sensations, or mood swings, hazelnuts might offer surprising benefits. They're also deliciously versatile. Blend into spreads, toast them lightly for a snack, or add to a bowl of fruit and yogurt. Now that you know which nuts to lean on, here are a few golden habits to help you snack wisely. Measure your portions. A serving of nuts is typically a small handful, about 1 ounce. If you're not sure, use a little dish or even count them out until your eyes get used to what that looks like. Store smart. Nuts go rancid if they're exposed to heat, air, or light. Keep them in an airtight container in the fridge or freezer to preserve their flavor and prevent harmful oxidation. Skip the coatings. Steer clear of nuts that are candied, sugar-dusted, honey-glazed, or heavily salted. These add-ons can undo all the benefits. Look for raw or dry-roasted, unsalted varieties. Use them as add-ons, not meals. Instead of munching by the handful, sprinkle nuts over oatmeal, mix them into veggie dishes, or add to salads. They'll add texture and flavor without the risk of overeating. Watch how you feel. Pay attention to how your body reacts. If you feel gassy, bloated, itchy, or tired after eating certain nuts, your body may be trying to tell you something. Trust that wisdom. Let's be honest. There's no perfect food, but the more we understand what we're putting into our bodies, the better we feel, the longer we live, and the more joy we get out of each day. It's never too late to start making better choices, even small ones. So next time you're at the grocery store or reaching into the pantry, ask yourself, is this nut helping me or just pretending to be healthy? That one simple question could make all the difference. If you found this video helpful, I'd love for you to leave a comment below. Tell me your favorite nut or which one you might be rethinking after watching this. Don't forget to like this video. It helps others find this advice too. And if you'd like more gentle, smart, and empowering health tips like this, especially designed for those of us over 60, hit that subscribe button and ring the bell so you don't miss a thing. Until next time, take good care of yourself. You deserve it.